Everybody, welcome back to the Hot Mic Show. I'm Bill Whittle, and we're talking about invisible censorship today, the censorship of conservative content on social media. And our guest today is Greg Strazzeri. He's the Chief Marketing Officer for PragerU, which just before the break we realized is in fact having a major impact on how young people get some actual information. I think he said 250 million views earlier. Did you say almost 300 million this year alone so far?
Yeah, this year we have 350 million views. We have almost 2 million views every single day.
Dude, that is, just let's put this into some context, because I know sometimes conservatives out there just feel hopeless. They see the mainstream media, television, and all this other stuff. They say, how can we compete with this? But this is just PragerU now on their own. If they're getting 2 million views a day, the days when a show like Cheers or Friends could pull in 10, 20 million viewers, those days are long, long, long gone. A big hit on cable news now is 200,000 viewers, 300,000 viewers. They're doing 10 times what MSNBC is doing in any particular hour, and that is starting to alarm them a little bit. Craig, you talked earlier about algorithms and YouTube defending this censorship because of algorithms. Let's just do a very, very quick rundown for some of our friends who may not understand exactly how that works. When you make a post on Facebook, for example, and you have a bunch of friends, and you post something on Facebook and it gets pushed out to your friends and it shows up on your friends' pages. Well, there's not a little person who runs around and, emails each one of those individually. It's all done by a computer program called an algorithm. It's a mathematical formula that determines who's going to see those links. And these algorithms are weighted, which means that they've been given a certain kind of a bias. The more stuff that you put out and the more stuff that gets shared and liked, the more likely they are to push it, and the wider they are that they will push it. But since these are mathematical formulas, they can be adjusted, and they can be adjusted in such a way that nobody knows they're being adjusted. And you can look around and do very simple things, like if you say a post that says Donald Trump an idiot or fascist or something like that, then Facebook can promote those posts a lot wider, make sure they get seen by a lot more people. If, on the other hand, the computer looks at a post and it says Trump, genius, president, respect, honor, make America great again, those posts can be suppressed and make sure they're seen by fewer people. And Craig, the problem with this is we have no way of knowing other than our own anecdotal evidence, which is growing very powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate truth. I mean, there are a few things that we do know, and we know on Facebook, when we, in particular, that say you have 2 million followers. PragerU has 2 million followers on Facebook. When we post something, it won't go out to all 2 million followers. Facebook will automatically only send it to a certain percentage, and we're told it's between 2 and 3% of our followers organically. So people who have opted in to follow our page and they want to receive our content, even the way it's set up now, 2 to 3% will see it. Now, I have no doubt, some of our videos, which will be on a roll, and we had a video on the Electoral College last year with 50 million views on Facebook right after the election, and everyone was talking about the Electoral College with Trump and Hillary. That video was moving and moving and moving. Once it hit 50 million, which is a great number, and we're happy with it, it just all of a sudden stopped. And so we were, the rate of sharing slowed down. Everything really slowed down. So it was odd.
Yeah, that's right. And so somebody said, whoa, hold on now. If we start explaining the meaning of the Electoral College to people, and millions and millions and millions of Americans are seeing this video, and the Electoral College makes some sense because I've done a little lecturing on that myself, then wait a minute. If people start learning about why the Electoral College exists and why it's necessary, then that will mean that Donald Trump was legitimately elected. And our entire argument at the time, which was Hillary got more votes than Donald Trump did in the popular vote, will be meaningless, right? And so we have to do something to put our boot on the throat of that information. It makes you wonder, Craig, and the real question is, for people like you and me, what are they so afraid of? We know what they're afraid of. They're afraid that if information gets out there, the American people will never vote Democrat again. But just this morning on Grant Stinchfield's show, Grant was saying that a number of big organizations like the Washington Post and U.S. News and World Report and all the rest of them, they said that the NRA is gone nuts. They're losing their minds. And the reason I think for this is that the NRA, and the reason I'm proud to be here, is now becoming a defender of First Amendment rights as vigorously as they have been of Second Amendment rights. And I get the feeling, Craig, and I'm curious to get your take on it, that these people, having been given 40 years to control the message without any pushback at all, have suddenly realized that with the election of Donald Trump, these conservatives are suddenly emboldened and they're fighting back. And of course, Prager and you and all of us, me, my work, we've all been doing this for 7, 8, 10 years now. But do you get the sense that they're scared? Do you get the sense that they know that the game is not what it used to be, that we are coming back with messaging that's not just messaging, it's actually better messaging than what they're putting out?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. They are losing their control that they've had for many decades. They owned traditional media, and now that traditional media is dead, and we saw that with the election. Trump used social media, went directly around every single outlet that just hammered him 24 hours a day, and he was able to win the presidency that way. It does scare them that they don't have control. I mean, the irony is they build these platforms like YouTube and Facebook, and YouTube's mission statement is, we want to be a platform for freedom of speech, freedom of expression. We are a place where people are free to express their opinions and their ideas without fear. You know, they stand on this freedom of speech ground, but the moment they don't agree with the speech, we really see who the tolerant ones are. And they are losing control even with their own platforms. And it just goes to, YouTube is not the government, but big government, big control. They want to control the message that's getting out there. And it starts to make them nervous that conservatives are seeing success, like us, like your show, like the Daily Wire. A lot of conservative organizations are having success, and that really scares them. So they're panicking and they're starting to restrict videos, but that's not working too well for them. I mean, we have a petition up at PragerU.com, and we have over 250,000 signatures, 250,000 of people who have raised their hand, and they're not all conservatives. We've heard from a lot of people who are, your blue collar Democrats or independents or libertarians who say, look, I don't agree with all the PragerU videos, but I definitely don't think that they're inappropriate for kids. So I'm going to sign this petition. So there's a lot of people out there who aren't happy about this. And YouTube's a private company. They have a legal right to do it, but the hypocrisy and all the left-wing videos that they have up there. One more example, Bill, you might find entertaining or amusing, is that we have a video on e-cigarette. Yeah, okay. We have a video on e-cigarettes, the case for e-cigarettes. That video is restricted, yet if you want to watch videos on marijuana and any other drug, they're not restricted. So it's just, it goes to show you they want to slow us down.
Yeah, they sure do. And Craig, you know what? I'd like to have a conversation with you again very, very soon about the whole problem of this being that these are privately owned companies. They can do whatever they want to. Craig, thanks so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure talking to you. You're a terrific guest. And Craig is the Chief Marketing Officer for Prager University. And thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. That's it, folks. That's the problem. That's the plan. They know we're starting to succeed, so they're doing everything they can to shut us down. But we're not going to let them shut us down, are we? We're not going to let that happen. You can become a member at BillWhittle.com. You can become a member at NRATV, at the NRA, obviously, and you can keep watching NRATV. We will be back tomorrow. More fights to fight, and we will see you then.